Up next on UBC, brought to you by
Airtel. Download Airtel TV to watch and support Ugandan talent on The Voice Africa every Sunday at 8 p.m.
A very good evening to you all, and welcome from me, Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, to our second and final edition of News Tonight, this Tuesday, the 5th day of September 2023. But first, let's have a look at our top stories. In our top stories tonight, President Museveni cautions NRM members against use of personal funds in politics. UPDF spokesperson Brigadier General Felix Kulaije tips the public on security vigilance. The Speaker of Parliament Anita Among tasks Ministry of Security to explain the escalating bomb threats. And in sports, national senior football team the Cranes train ahead of AFCON. Hello there and welcome once again. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has urged members of the NRM against the use of personal funds in politics. He said the practice by politicians to solve their constituents' problems is costly and depletes resources without significant impact. The President was meeting 478 NRM party flag bearers and chairpersons from Kampala's 5 divisions. He encouraged them to promote government programs. The NRM flag bearers congratulated President Museveni on his 50th anniversary of marriage to Mama Janet Kataha Museveni.
Really, I want to agree with the NRM cadres in the whole country.
Njagala okukanya ne bakada ba NRM mu ggwanga lyonna.
I think you have not been listening to my message.
Ndowooza mubadde temuwuliriza bulungi bubaka bwa president. Okuwabula kw'abadde atuwabulamu.
The issue of political leadership.
Ensonga ya bakulembeze bannabyabufuzi.
I don't know why you get lured to use money for politics.
Tamanyi lwaki tukozesa ssente mu byobufuzi.
Ensonga eyo, that's a mistake.
Ensonga eyo nkyamu, kikyamu ekyo. Tukola nsobi.
What I would like you to do,
kyayagala tukole,
in fact what I would like to help you with,
era kyayagala obbayambamu,
well, if I'm able,
bw'abanga asobola,
is support you individually so that you stabilize as an individual.
Kwe kubayamba mmwe nga bassekinoomu musobole okubeera mu mbeera ennungi.
As far as wealth creation is concerned,
mu mbeera y'okwegaggawaza, mu mbeera y'okufuna obugagga, okukola obugagga,
so that you have got your own literal base, economic base,
mubenga mulina we mutandikira mu byenfuna, mufune entobo mu byenfuna.
You have food for your family.
Nga mulina emmere mu maka gammwe.
You have income.
Ate nga mulina ne we mujja ennyingiza.
Where you can support your family.
Musobolenga okuwagira amaka gammwe.
Then for the politics,
ku ky'ebyobufuzi,
it is the word of the mouth.
Tukozese ekigambo okuva mu kamwa kaffe.
Tell those people that me, I can help you do this and that.
Abantu bagambe nti tusobola okubayamba okukola ebyo bye beetaaga.
But using government resources, not my personal resources.
Nga tukozesa obusobozi bwa gavumenti, ebyo ebiba biva mu gavumenti.
Not personal resources.
Naye nga tetukozesa sente zaffe oba ebintu byaffe bye tulina bassekinoomu ebyobwannannyini.
If they listen to you and they elect you, good.
Bwe bakuwuliriza ne bakulonda kirungi nnyo.
If they don't, you go back to your business.
Bwe batakulonda oddayo ku mirimu gyo.
But it is a big mistake for you to mix family with politics.
Naye ensobi nnene nnyo okugatta eby'omakaago, ebya famire yo n'ebyobufuzi.
And spend money in politics from your family or you as a person.
Ne tukozesa sente zaffe zivudde mu famire yaffe oba ffe bassekinoomu nga ate ze tukozesa mu by'obufuzi.
I would really like to advise you that this is wrong and counterproductive and not necessary.
President, naye tetusobola koowa ssebo president okwebaza ne ssekwebaza olw'okuliyimirirawo ku lw'obuwangwa bwaffe, ku lw'eggwanga lyaffe, ku lwa Africa ng'olwanyisa ebisiyaga. Twagala kukaka.
President Yoweri Museveni addressing NRM leaders there and of course cautioning them against using their personal money into running their political agenda. Now the Prime Minister Robinah Nabbanja has warned secondary school teachers against illegal charges in government-aided schools in the country. Nabbanja says that President Yoweri Museveni has directed that no illegal charges be entertained in all government-aided schools in the country. We have more in this story.
The Prime Minister, Nabbanja, was addressing over 370 secondary school head teachers from eastern Uganda undergoing a leadership training in mindset and patriotism at the National Leadership Institute, Chankwanzi. Nabbanja says that it is a government policy to allow the less privileged children of the country attain education at both primary and secondary level, emphasizing that government will not tolerate any charges.
We want you to tell us that school X does not have a physics teacher. The teachers are there on the market. Then government will recruit these teachers for you. Then lunch. It is the responsibility of a parent to provide food in our policies for the children. If you have an arrangement at school, that is between you and the parents, not between you and our children. And so, you have no powers whatsoever to chase our children from schools.
Nabbanja encouraged the head teachers to also start up income-generating projects as a side income in agriculture so that they do not only rely on salary and resorting to charging parents.
We have policies. Hope you know these policies. Twina Amateka policies. And some of these policies have helped us to do a lot of things, a lot of work. The moral fiber of our people, the youth who go through your hands, is deteriorating at a high speed. The moral fiber.
Helen Seku, a private secretary to the president in charge of youth affairs, says that they are optimistic that by the end of the training, the head teachers will be focused.
They've gone through patriotism, they've studied about how to make money, financial literacy. different ideologies, and a lot of things.
This is the third batch of head teachers to undergo patriotism training, and they are only left with the Western region to complete the circle. Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
Now, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has tasked the Ministry of Security to explain the escalating security threats following the emerging bomb and terror fears in the country. During plenary sitting, members also indicated that the security organs clarify and plan for deployment to counter the arising problem.
I want to commend the security personnel so much. And I also want to ask members and the public to avoid being in congested areas and be vigilant in wherever you are.
Recently, police arrested a 28-year-old male with alleged explosives around Rubaga Miracle Center in Kampala. Police also recovered 6 improvised bombs in the outskirts of Kampala. A warning was sounded to the public about the suspected planned attacks, especially around busy places. During today's plenary sitting, members of parliament debated on concerns and preparedness of security organs and the safety measures.
What scares most is that government should give us assurance, especially in places of worship, where people are crowded so much.
Nobody knows the intentions of these people. These people could know that there is tight security in Kampala and they migrate to Bugabula. And all of a sudden, tomorrow you hear a different story. Nobody knows where they are and nobody knows their movement.
Members demanded the line security organs to explain the situation and give guidelines to the public.
To request here, Right Honourable Speaker, that you give the Minister of Security an ultimatum to report to this Parliament, to brief this Parliament on what is going on, because the issues of security is paramount.
With culprits allegedly targeting busy places like churches, shopping centers and markets, such places should be buffered with security.
So I would like to appeal to security organs and government to widen the net. Terrorists may not only be in Kampala, but they could be in those areas that we least suspect they could be attacking.
The Minister for Internal Affairs and Minister for Security were all absent during the sitting.
Right Honourable Speaker, I feel the front bench is sleeping on duty, and I want to invite your prerogative to demand of them to brief Parliament before the House and the Judge, Right Honourable Speaker, because it's very serious.
The third Deputy Prime Minister, Kiana Kadama, informed the House that the Minister of Security will only make a pronouncement upon approval by the President.
It is because of the work that Executive is doing and Security is doing, is that you were informed of what was happening and what has been done, and that's how you came to pick that information. So, Right Honourable Speaker, like I was saying, it is His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, the fountain of honor, to guarantee the Minister of Security to come and make a statement on issues concerning security.
She noted that the security issues cannot be put out to the public as they may give lead to the criminals. The Speaker directed the Minister for Security to make a statement on the matter.
Not just get up and defend what is not defendable. It is a good thing for you to come and tell this House, on such and such a date, this and this happened, and this is what the plans we have as government. Don't tell us your plans, but tell us we have plans to sort out this.
Nonetheless, security around some busy places has already been enhanced. Susan Naonga reporting for UBC TV.
Still on issues pertaining to security of this great nation, the Uganda People's Defence Forces, UPDF, remains steadfast and committed to defend the country despite controversies of improvised devices as a potential tactic to discourage opposition politicians from conducting their activities in Kampala. The UPDF spokesperson, Brigadier General Felix Kulaije, told UBC that there is need for public vigilance.
the discovery and detonation of improvised explosive devices, and the arrest of key suspects can be attributed to the vigilance of the population and response by security forces. These suspects have been connected to the ADF terror group, which is currently being suppressed in DRC under the command of Major General Dick Olum.
And why they're up, it's because they want to divert us from the pressure we have put on them in Congo, and then divert us internally.
Improvised explosive devices remain a locally manufactured threat that poses a danger to the population. Terrorists have resorted to using such devices due to their inability to import and transport pre-manufactured bombs into Uganda.
Ordinarily, there are things that you would otherwise throw away. These fellows gather them, and they have an impact. When a nail explodes from pressure, it certainly the nails would kill you. They would maim you. You do not want to test what they can do.
The UPDF denies allegations that the increase in the use of IEDs is aimed at restricting the possibility of political gatherings.
As an individual, should always be in support of securing the citizens, politics aside, because politics must be played in a secure environment. Are we compromised? No, but we are mindful of what Ugandans think, because your opinions matter.
According to the UPDF spokesperson, the suspected terrorist primary objective is to generate panic. Komagum Rogers and Ivan Kahawa, UBC News.
Security officials have met leaders of the born-again Pentecostal churches in the country and advised them to increase security at their churches. The Army spokesperson, Brigadier General Felix Kulaije, called upon religious leaders to cooperate with security.
After law enforcement agencies detonated at least 6 bombs in various areas, including churches, security have met religious leaders to discuss the challenge. During a meeting to discuss the consecration of born-again Pentecostal Church Bishop Moses Odongo on 26th of this month, the Army spokesperson Brigadier General Felix Kulaije warned churches to increase security.
I've taken advantage of requesting the bishops, the pastors who are meeting today in preparation of the consecration of the overseer, to indeed request their followers. One, checking bags, boxes, whatever baggage. Check the people who are going into the churches for service.
Felix Kulaije urged religious leaders to be aware of strangers and erect checkpoints in every entry.
It's important that we do deter the terrorism. So we have encouraged them to actually talk to their followers. The question of who is your neighbor, where has he come from, those need to be known. So that the
newly elected bishop of the born-again Pentecostal Church, Moses Odongo, said they will retrain security guards and install gate screening devices.
We are calling upon training for all our people who work in churches, so that they are trained. We are going to be working together with the police and all security personnel to train our people.
Odongo and the spokesperson of the association, Joseph Magongo, urged the leaders of various churches to cooperate with the security.
Because Felix Kulaije just told us they have detonated over 6 bombs, and that is good news that our security forces are working hard, and we want to thank them very much. And we also want to work together with them, because our structure of National Fellowship of Born-Again Pentecostal Churches has a minister of security.
The consecration of elected bishop of the Born-Again Pentecostal Church, Moses Odongo, will take place on 26th September.
As we consecrate him as the Archbishop of the Pentecostals and Born-Agains in Uganda. And we're excited that the chief guest, who is the president of this country, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has graciously accepted to be the chief guest on the 26th of September.
I'm Nafka Farida and Joseph Moyingo.
The Minister of State for Northern Uganda, Grace Freedom Kuyuchinyi, has commissioned roads facilities of over 100 kilometers in Adjumani, funded by the Development Initiatives for Northern Uganda, together with the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, and the European Union. Ms. Kuyuchinyi asked the residents to utilize the commissioned roads to enhance market for their produce, since the roads connect to South Sudan and the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
The Minister of State for Northern Uganda, Grace Freedom Kuyuchinyi, has hailed Development Initiative for Northern Uganda project funded by the European Union for setting up road facilities and improving on market systems, among others. She, however, urges the residents to support government programs like the PDM to enhance their productivity.
I see this road already here, and I would not like our people to take this for granted, because this can change our economy. There is a lot of produce which is lying unprocessed in this region. These roads can lead us to better markets. These roads can lead us to access processing plants. This road can help us a lot as far as the economy of this region is concerned.
The objective of the program is to reduce the development gap between northern Uganda and the rest of the country through nutrition and food security, road infrastructure, and good governance. The Minister of Local Government, Raphael Majezi, through his representative Anthony Namara, appealed to the local residents to support government programs.
The DUNU project has contributed to the achievement of sustainable development goals 1, 2, 5, 6, which is on clean water and sanitation, and then 8 on decent work and economic growth. The DUNU is contributing towards national priorities as articulated in the parish development model, block economic development policy, and the third national development plan, among others.
The 11 roads scattered in the 7 sub-counties commissioned by the minister are to benefit the communities in Adjumani.
Maybe we cannot be also to create these 7 roads, having 11 roads. So we're grateful for you as a minister for Northern Uganda and God bless the house. Always when we are called upon to come and even personally go on the ground. That's why I think if we speak of service delivery, one of the great service delivery in Northern Uganda will be wonderful.
The representative from the European Union explains the progress of the project.
In financial management, these are all very important aspects to ensure that the local government can increase its revenue and therefore increase its investments in the community. So these are important elements for sustainability towards the future.
Relatively over in Moyo district, there was an exhibition of several businesses from the community members supported under the Development Initiative project funded by the European Union and the United Nations Capitalization Development Fund.
Way of improving service delivery. If you're taken to a health center, a Beso health center, and a Bari, they usually say now the district has thrown me. The district has thrown me to Bari, they have thrown me to Aya. But this time, staff are willing to go and work at Aya Health Center Abeso because of easy accessibility.
Justin Nakami, Tanaba Kenneth, UBC News.
Minister for Works and Transport, General Edward Katumba Wamala, has asked Ugandans who are constructing buildings, both personal and business, to consider persons with disability. He was announcing this year's awards dubbed Celebrating Building Accessibility and Fire Safety, due on the 8th of December 2023.
In January 2020 to December 2022, 41 fires or explosions and 25 building collapses have been investigated. 16 fires were recorded in schools, 4 in residential homes, and 21 in commercial buildings. At least 65% of fires were caused by human factors. Therefore, to ease evacuation and access for all, including persons living with disabilities, there must be an improvement on construction standards.
I think many of you are witnesses to this. If you go to many of the buildings in Kampala, especially those ones which were developed in the early times, there's no provision for people with disabilities, PWs. It's just now that it's a requirement that every new structure makes that provision. But in some of the buildings we have, you can't, including mine, including mine here. If I was to get a PW minister with a wheelchair, I could not go up in that office up there.
Occupation permits will be required for anyone starting construction.
Urban and district building committees for approval of plans, issuance of building permits, and occupation permits. I hope that many of you know that. And I know that many of you have been building your own houses. I don't know how many of you have got occupation permits before you entered that house. Because many of us, you just enter to the building. You are supposed to have an occupation permit issued to you to ensure that the building has been inspected by especially the Minister of the Health people and all that it meets the requirements.
Voting for the National Building Control Awards is ongoing to celebrate existence, innovation, and dedication of individuals and organizations in the construction industry.
So in this way, we shall be able to, as I've said, to assess ourselves, assess the National Building Review Board, to see whether it has impacted on people, to assess the building committees, are they really performing, are they a relevant organ, or they are just wasteful. Assess our own buildings. For example, look at the new buildings, maybe. You may say, yes, this is you can say, some of these things may not apply to the very old buildings of 1930, 1928. But what about these new structures which have come up?
Shaidat Nasaku, UBC News.
Economic life in Lukaya, Bowoma and Kayabe towns along Kampala-Masaka Road is revived following the acceptance of buses to cross Katonga Bridge, which burst its banks in May this year. Now, this authorization was passed in a UNRA letter dated the 4th of September 2023, which also cautions drivers to follow all the traffic guidelines and signage placed along the route.
The acceptance of buses to cross River Katonga follows a recent authorization of lightweight vehicles. After continuous technical monitoring, assessment and reinforcement of the affected parts, the bridge has been cleared to carry weight of up to 30 tons.
Before, when we came here, when the water washes away the bridge and we tried to fulfill other part. So then after they tested, they found that the bus and some other heavy vehicle can pass. Then they allow the buses and those heavy trucks to pass. So as well as they are passing, we are also trying our best to work on other parts. So we are trying to work on the temporary bridge for some moment. Then after maybe we shall come back to the main bridge.
The bridge is still in its first phase of rehabilitation and has been reinforced with gabions to prevent water from penetrating the structure.
On average, 2 buses and other lightweight vehicles are crossing Katonga Bridge, and they're all doing this on a one-way interval.
Signs of revived economic activity since accepting the buses to ply the route are visible in towns of Bowoma, Kayabwe and Lukaya, the famous nyama choma and roasted chicken roadside market.
Kirabika bulungi olw'ensonga oba bbiri nti luli tubadde bubi nga basi zikola ki tiziyimirira ekitegeera ate luli emabega nabo era twabeera bubi nnyonyonyo naye kati kikomyewo ffe tubadde tulina ekizibu kimu nga ffe abakyala nti abasajja abasinga batuletekera obuvunaanyizibwa ewaka olw'abaana kati basi zibadde tiziriiwo tubadde tukyasobola nakuweerera ki baana ate amasomero ga gavumenti ge tuyita nga ga gavumenti era baagakola ki baagawanika.
Currently, works on Phase 2 include the construction of a steel bridge to enable the full restoration of traffic in the Katonga region. Efforts to talk to bus drivers were futile, but they are relieved from using the Gomba Sembabule Bukomansimbi Masaka diversion, which is 56 kilometers longer. Wadulo Markanold, UBC News, in Mpigi District.
Now let's go to the courts of law, where the 6 accused persons in the murder case of Maria Nagirinya and Ronald Chitayimbwa want court to acquit them of the 6 offences against them in this matter. The accused allege that prosecution, with the 21 witnesses presented to court, failed to prove all the ingredients in the case to find them guilty.
All parties in the murder case of Maria Nagirinya and Ronald Chitayimbwa, where 6 people are accused, have made oral submissions to court before Judge Isaac Muwata. The prime suspect, Kasoloko Priam, informed court that prosecution failed to prove all ingredients in this matter for court to find him guilty.
Nga eyewitness oyo nga yali ayitibwa Bena Nachidde ngono ye yalaba byonna ebyaliwo abazigu nga bawamba Maria Nagirinya ne Chitayimbwa kubanga yalwana n'okulwana ng'agezaako okutaasa sister we aleme kuwambibwa Maria Nagirinya.
And the Evidence Act is clear. There is no amount or number of witnesses that is required to prove a case.
Castle also refuted the evidence that he was in the car of the deceased, according to CCTV cameras after the kidnap.
From Runguja, they passed through Kabusu, and that's the same route under which they said ANPR camera captured the photo of Kasoro driving.
He also faulted prosecution's failure to present to court the alleged toy pistol that he used to scare the deceased.
Nerulema n'okunnyonnyola amawulire gonna gonna agakwata ku mundu eyo yabulirawa lwaki teyasobola kuleetebwa.
Kasolo asked court to acquit him with all the offences.
Polisi ya Uganda erina omwogezi waayo oludda lwali luvunaanyizibwa okuleeta omuntu oyo annyonnyole kooti eno Senabulya Isaac si musirikale wa police.
I'm well aware that he does not have the obligation to prove that. But my lord, there is no evidence to that effect.
Lawyer Sarambala Julius, representing Lubega Johnson and Katelega Sadat, dismissed the allegations of kidnap.
Pictures of the alleged motor vehicle were creations of Photoshop. No logbook of it was ever brought up in court to show that in Uganda there was such a motor vehicle.
He also refutes the murder to have been committed by the accused.
But she did not bring to this honorable court any results from the government analytical lab to prove that the fingerprints of Etu were captured on the alleged motor vehicle.
My lord, the interest of this trial is not to ascertain in whose name the number was registered in. It is to ascertain who was the holder and user.
Godfrey Sirwanga, lawyer to Kalyango Nasif, Chiseka Asanian Mpanga Sharif, asked court to acquit the accused, since they were just mere border riders who transported the accused persons.
And their status as border operators was not disputed in evidence. There was no proof of criminal intent in mobilization of the transportation.
Efo was a coordinator and a key facilitator for transportation of his colleagues.
Prosecution led by Timothy Amilit asked court to convict all the accused.
There is a wealth of corroborative evidence, and that includes data analysis report, the technical report, then it includes the postmortem reports.
After all parties giving in their own submissions in this matter, court has set 14th September 2023 for all the court assessors to give in their opinion. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Thank you.
Water, please. Can I pay with Momo?
No.
Ha. Hey, can I pay with Momo? Ha.
Here's our merchant code.
Oh, very good.
Seven maker.
20. Can I pay with Momo?
Unfortunately, no.
Baby, let's go.
When paying with MTN Momo comes with more benefits for everyone, it just doesn't make sense not to have it.
Hello, I've come for rent.
Can I pay with Momo?
Yes, you can.
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Uncle, you should see London.
Oh, my boy. It has been 5 years. You should see Uganda.
Yes. Uncle Marcus, this is for my school.
See, soon there will be more than 1 million children learning like this for free.
This is impressive. Do you even have connection out here?
Well, we have 100% 4G countrywide.
Okay.
We even have 5G too.
That's approximately 700 billion Uganda shillings in tax, making Airtel one of the largest corporate income taxpayers over the last 5 years, helping build a better Uganda.
Today, your son saw our new Uganda.
Thank you, Uganda, for imagining it with us and making us the fastest growing telecom in the country over the past 5 years.
The drilling of development and production wells for the Kingfisher project in Kikube district started in January 2023. While the delivery and assembly of the 3 drilling rigs for the Tilenga project is ongoing. Enabling infrastructure works for the other required facilities, including the central processing facilities, well pads, flow lines and camps, remain on course. The produced resources will be commercialized via the East Africa crude oil pipeline, which will run from Uganda to Tanzania, and the 60,000 barrels of oil per day Uganda refinery project, which will be constructed in Hoima. These projects are bringing investment of $15 billion into the country. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Did you know that you can safely and conveniently make your school fees payments anytime, any school, anywhere using Airtel Money? Oh yes! Simply pick up your phone and dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Choose between school pay, peg pay, or shore pay. Enter student number. Enter amount, confirm name and transaction. Enter Airtel Money PIN. A confirmation message will be sent to you upon a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Now, the 47th annual convention of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Germany has concluded in the city of Stuttgart. The event was attended by over 45,000 people from across the globe. His Holiness Mazrat Miraz Masroor Ahmad, the worldwide head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, delivered a number of addresses throughout the 3-day convention. Sudat Kaye reports.
This year's conference marked the 100th year of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community's establishment in Germany. His Holiness addressed a number of key themes, including an address to external guests on the Islamic principles of justice and answered the key allegations which are leveled against Islam.
Allah the Almighty states,
Let not a people enmity incite you to act otherwise than with justice. The verse goes on to state that be always just, that is nearer to righteousness. This verse defines the standard of justice and advocated by justice advocated by Islam, which requires that even if someone has grievously mistreated or persecuted you, it must never lead you to seek revenge or be anything other than proportionate and fair in your response.
Representatives from Africa, Middle East, Europe, and North America attended.
I find it quite impressive and inspiring, especially the points he pointed out about the message of peace and the rights of women. It's really important, in my opinion, to bring this to all the people.
Actually, both of the speech in the women's session and the recent one, both of them very inspirational and then challenging in some way, because he challenged so many dominant narratives and prevailing narratives in the world about Islam, and then especially the one regarding women.
The Ahmadiyya Muslim community, German, which has built 77 mosques across the country, has also initiated a 100 mosque scheme.
Proclaims that if he so desired, he could have compelled all people to accept Islam. However, he determined that human beings would have free will. Thereafter, Allah the Almighty states that if he did not compel mankind to accept Islam, it was impossible for the Holy Prophet ﷺ or his true followers to violate the principle of freedom of belief.
The community is recognized in Germany and internationally for its humanitarian efforts and service to the nation. Robert Katamba, GBC News.
The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, His Grace Dr. Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, says failure to implement the existing laws on conserving the environment has led to an increase in environmental degradation. He was launching an environment campaign here in Kampala, as we hear in this story.
The Minister of Water and Environment Report 2021 indicates that 41% of Uganda's total area is experiencing degradation and pollution. This is caused by rapid population growth, industrialization and developments, energy mining, among others. With above efforts on the environment, Church of Uganda has become part of the African Climate Week that started on 4th September to 8th September 2023. The Archbishop of Church of Uganda, Dr. Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, started with a walk towards Nankulabye, where they carried out a general cleaning. Despite the laws to conserve the environment, the failure to implement these laws, this has led to an increase in environment degradation.
The progress we have made as a country, a lot is left to be desired to avert the impact of climate change, strengthen adaptation and resilience in our society. I therefore call upon the government of Uganda, civil society organizations, political leaders, bishops, clergy, and Christians to the following actions. 1, to enforce the National Environment Act 2019 and the National Climate Change Act 2021, and put in place measures to maintain a clean country that glorifies God.
The campaign was also attended by officials from Kampala Capital Store Authority who applauded the church.
Leno tugisanyukidde nnyo nenga munnange wano wetutandikidde nga naffe tubakubiriza nti obuyonjo mu kitundu kitandikira nammwe mu maka gammwe, temugenda suubira nti ekkanisa egenda kujjanga etulongooseze, wabula tubakubiriza tukolere wamu, kubanga okukuuma obutonde ekintu kikulu nnyo. Obuveera bwe tujja tusaasaanya n'obucupa bwe tusuula bukosa obutonde bw'ensi era butukoseza ddala ffenna awamu.
The Director Housing and Community Transformation Church of Uganda, Andrew Agamba, highlights the effects of degrading the environment.
We are losing soil fertility. Our people are taking dirty water, especially in our city, because of disposal of plastic bags and plastic bottles, especially when you go into around the city and see the trenches that take our water into Lake Victoria. You'll see a lot of refuse going around, especially when it has just rained. We need to communicate to every citizen in...
The official celebrations of Africa Climate Week will be held in Kenya Rwanda on the theme Driving Green Growth and Climate Finance Solution for Africa and the World.
Now, hundreds gathered at Chigo in praise and worship as they honored Christ for the things he has done for Uganda. Zoe Ministry and Prophet Elvis Mbonye attracted dignitaries from Israel, the United States of America, Ghana and Kenya, thanking the Lord for Africa. Here is our reporter, Amon Ngabo, with more.
Legislators from Ghanaian Parliament and those from Kenya were in the country celebrating Christ, along with Zoe Ministries and Prophet Elvis Mbonye. The gathering at Chigo grounds attracted hundreds to pray for peace in the East African region. Honorable Helena Joa Ntosi led the delegation representing the authority of the Speaker of Ghana, Alban Suman, and thanked the Lord for his providence upon Africa as a land, despite going through tribulations of COVID-19, among others, saying that Africa, Uganda in particular, is blessed.
To use this opportunity to speak to the people of this country, that the presence of the man of God in this country, do not take it for granted.
The delegates from Kenya were led by Kenyan Senator Isaac Mwaura and Honorable Anne Jemutai.
Work in the office of the President in Kenya and receive greetings from the body of Christ from Kenya.
Because we know that you are spirit-filled and are anointed of the Lord.
Zoe Ministries thanked God for Prophet Elvis Mbonye and his guide as the lead of the ministry and for the celebrations they've been holding for years.
The National Children's Authority has cautioned parents who have neglected responsibility in child parenting. The chairperson, National Children's Authority, Martin Kiza, says the authority will follow up the incidences.
Last week, police found two bodies of children who were murdered and dumped under that tree at Ranume Church in Katonga district. The residents held the father. At a press conference held at the National Children's Authority headquarters in Ntinda, the head of the authority, Martin Kiza, urged the police to speed up investigations in this matter. Kamanzi Derek, a child planning specialist, cautioned the parents who have neglected their responsibilities against children.
Tubera mu mirimo abamu tetumanye ebifa mu bulamu bw'abaana abamu tukomawo ekira abaana tebatumanyi alega teto kivuddemu obuzibu bw'amaanyi.
Deborah Namamonde, Kayumba Stephen, UBC News.
The Kagadi RDC, Lilian Ruteraho, has arrested two parish chiefs from Mpefu sub-county and forced them to refund money extorted from the PDM beneficiaries. Now, it follows victims' petition to her office over illegal charges to benefit from parish revolving fund.
The RDC vowed to nab all leaders who sabotage government programs.
Nyine deputy roho kamasho officer no mushija serious CDOs akubara baremese imo muterre nyowe muterre kamasho officer muterre deputy RDC.
Rutahero identified the accused as Joel Bisesa and Samuel Kagwa, parish chiefs of Mujenza and Burijira of Mpefu Town Council. The suspects are alleged to have been charging illegal fees for computer passwords, transport, and as well as giving less than the recommended parish resolving funds of 500,000 shillings than 1 million shillings.
Banyaho sente uneza za transport umutwaro. Banyaho zenakaze izichimije chipapura.
Ashobora twaro mukaga namahe imitwaro 3 hasigara 3 kuyambulire nagaruka namgamake 3 yambulira nja mulaika kufego mugisha gwa kinana ba kina cyenda na mwenda harigana.
The Kagadi District Commercial Officer, Peter Kushemerera, says they have already dispatched 5 billion shillings. More 10 billion shillings is still on PDM account, waiting verification of beneficiaries.
It is a challenge together with improvising a corollary omulimo gwasobola kukolwa.
The district has a total of 151 parishes with circles and a population of 35,701 PDM beneficiaries.
The visiting immediate past international president, Lions Clubs International, Brian Sheehan, has commended Ugandan Lions for helping those in need. The Lions Clubs of Uganda District 411 hosted Brian Sheehan to a banquet at Imperial Royal Hotel.
Lions of Uganda love having fun. We want to have fun celebrating. Everyone here has contributed, but also regional fun.
Members of the Lions Clubs of Uganda, District 411B, have been lauded by Lions Club International top leaders for their passion to serve humanity.
Everything from visiting a seniors home to watching the Shield of Faith community empowerment organization work with orphans, to seeing the work that you do in hospitals, to seeing the work you do in the environment, planting trees. You are truly the pearl of this association.
The immediate past president, Lions Club International, Brian Sheehan, who has been in the country for a 2-day working visit, says overall, the Lions Clubs of Uganda, District 411B, are doing impressive service among the less privileged.
At an international level, and we've seen things all over. I'm more proud of the Lions in Uganda than ever. I cannot wait for you to ask us back again. Seriously, you guys do a wonderful job and you get it. And that's why it's so important that happy members don't leave. People want to volunteer and they want to help more than ever. You can't tell me that they don't.
Lion Brian Sheehan was accompanied by Lions Club's past international leader, Director Phil Nathan, board appointee Danny Elkins, and past international director, who is also the 3rd international president.
I can only say with a lot of satisfaction that your district governor is running and not walking. District governor, keep up the great work, because at the end of your tenure, I really want to see you as one of the most distinguished district governors that we have on the continent of Africa. And of course, if you are going to be one of the best district governors on the continent of Africa, who is going to support it?
During a grand dinner hosted for the visiting Lions Clubs International leaders by the Governor Lions Clubs of Uganda 411B, Dr. Stanley Bubikire and other senior Lions Club leaders in Uganda, the guests, lauded the Lions of Uganda for their services rendered to the needy in communities.
What should I call it? Quarter. And I can assure you that by the end of the linguistic year, those who have given tonight and those who are yet to give, we shall give our block and you'll feel it at international. Let me assure you of that.
The Lions Clubs of Uganda raised funds to facilitate humanitarian activities that include Lions Quest, Side First, Relieve the Hunger, Special Kids Care, Women Empowerment, environment and youth empowerment, among others.
Meanwhile, the Rotary Club of Kampala East Branch has launched a boy-child uplifting program to raise responsible boy children in the country. The program started at Sekabusolo village, a place they have been helping for quite some time.
Rotary clubs across the world have been doing volunteer work through providing assistance to various people. Rotary Club of Kampala East Branch has extended services to the residents of Sakabusolo village in Nakauka Ward, Wakiso district. They also built classrooms at St. Justo Primary School in the area, where they started planting a forest called Kalandazi. Through the Green Mission initiative, they have planted more trees to add to the forest.
We planted a forest at Kalandazi to help people around, especially in education, because we realized that there was something lacking in the education service of Kalandazi as a community.
Mission Green Head Vegetarian Harriet Musenguzi urged Ugandans not to degrade the environment.
We need to maintain environment by planting trees, not cutting. We have planted a lot of trees here to teach the public that trees is green.
The Rotarians also held a healthy camp at St. Justo Primary School, where people were checked and treated.
We've screened them against hepatitis B. We've screened them against HIV, syphilis. We've taken their blood pressure, diabetes. We've health educated them on how best to take care of themselves.
Meanwhile, the Rotary Club of Kampala District Governor Edward Kakembo Sobuga launched the Boy Child Uplifting Program, Bike Up, to uplift the status of the boy child.
For me, this Rotary year, I said my focus is going to be on the boy child. Why the boy child? I've been trying to observe the boy child in this country. Of course, the girl child has been elevated to a higher level. We thank government, but the mistake government made that they stayed there for the last 30 plus years, focusing on the girl child, forgetting that these boys, they neglected and they are going to marry our daughters tomorrow. Right now, as I speak, the boy child in this country is an endangered species, so they need the support. They need the support.
Kampala East Rotary Club President Densi Mubanguzi said, since they started helping people in the area, a lot has been achieved.
To build the school, we are supporting St. Justo Primary School, and therefore, when we harvest, the money goes to that school, because they usually have projects like building classroom blocks, building toilets, building teachers' houses. We have worked on this resource from these trees.
Rebecca Nantongo, Ivan Juku, UBC News.
To Karamoja sub-region now, and Karamoja sub-region has been experiencing insecurity for decades, and reformed Karimojong warriors have shared how raids are conducted and where they sell their animals. They are always, according to them, rewarded and blessed by elders and fortune tellers who normally sacrifice animals for a fruitful raid and are in return rewarded with animals. Take a watch.
28-year-old Apollos Modo is a father of 4 and husband to 2 women. A Maroto prison escape who has been one of the notorious J warriors and a resident of Rengini sub-county, Kwatido district.
They just call a businessman to the bush because they have telephone number of those men. They can give a bullet to that money, 300,000, 200,000. The other one goes.
35-year-old Mark Dengeo Choleman Natali is a resident of Laptok sub-county, Maroto district. Father of 9 and husband to 2 women, he has been a notorious Mathenico warrior who raids in South Karamoja.
So they came and they impounded all his cows. And they gave to the rest of the people.
Most of these reformed warriors explain that they learned criminality through peers at the cattle camps.
So when they are going to raid, they will also take him and he will observe. He will be very keen in observing what people do, how they walk the land, they walk it, and they do how they target, even when they are killing an enemy. He is also seen Then sometimes you will ask them that how do you do these things? Again, those big people who are bigger than him, they will say,
so we're not able to raise up the school fees. So there were no scholarships to help also. There were no organizations to help. So I had to come back. It was too hard. We resorted just to raiding.
Before they begin journey to raid, warriors are blessed by elders and fortune tellers and use passwords in the battlefields.
After blessing them as to play the shoes. So he plays, usually the plays and he says, if you pass here,
we get an animal as a sacrifice. We kill. We now, the Mzee now does all that ceremony there. The wives, the Shaimea. Meanwhile, the rest praising for this raid to be successful. Hey. The Mzee even can open the legs. We pass there.
The drug, this whatever, our abolish, this usual that used to give them. But then when they reach the know of cows, you try whatever, that herb there. At the Yagan should be the first one. After doing that herb, you should shoot the Yagan to be the first gun to be the second. The way can choose just what the password. So now when you that person answers you like that, that means you know that it is what you are calling. When you have failed to answer that password, you shoot. That's an enemy.
Warriors move in large numbers depending on the area where they raid. In fact, they can be over 500, each armed with either a gun or bows and arrows. After a successful raid, a witch doctor is rewarded with animals depending on what was raided. The reformed warriors appreciate government for extending amnesty to surrender their weapons voluntarily.
Sure, this is a really peace. We have also witnessed. Because they were not just expecting that there will be peace, they were just expecting only death.
The reformed warriors are now on campaign calling upon colleagues to quit criminality and voluntarily hand over their firearms.
For them now, they are engaging to their individuals who are still having guns at the booth there now. They are still calling.
We'll take yet another short break, but we'll be returning with the latest in business. Stay with us.
Water, please. Can I pay with Momo? No. Hey, can I pay with Momo?
Here's our merchant.
Oh, very good.
7 mega?
20. Can I pay with Momo?
Unfortunately, no.
Baby, let's go.
When paying with MTN Momo comes with more benefits for everyone, it just doesn't make sense not to have it.
Hello, I've come for rent.
Can I pay with Momo?
Yes, you can.
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mood Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Uncle, you should see London.
Oh, my boy. This has been 5 years. You should see Uganda.
Yes. Uncle Marcus, this is my former school.
See, soon there will be more than 1 million children learning like this for free.
This is impressive. Do you even have connection out here?
Well, we have 100% 4G countrywide.
Okay.
We even have 5G too.
That's approximately 700 billion Uganda shillings in tax, making Airtel one of the largest corporate income taxpayers over the last 5 years, helping build a better Uganda.
Today your son saw our new Uganda.
Thank you, Uganda, for imagining it with us and making us the fastest growing telecom in the country over the past 5 years.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at the latest in business. The second Uganda-South Africa Investment and Trade Summit 2023 has been opened at Speak Resort Munyonyo, running under the theme Accelerating Investments and Trade Between Uganda and South Africa. The delegates hailed the initiative that will open up trade and investment between Uganda and South Africa.
South Africa is one of the fastest growing sources of foreign direct investment for Uganda, as South Africa's exports to Uganda increased in total value from Randi 2.18 billion in 2007 to Randi 3.11 billion in 2018, then recorded a notable decrease in 2019, South African Randi 1.35 billion, before showing an increase in 2011 by Randi 1.80 billion. South African investments include areas like telecommunications, breweries, finance, poultry, energy, and many others. Uganda-South African Investment and Trade Summit, which is in Kampala, Uganda's converges trade and investment policymakers, business communities, trade support institutions, regional and multilateral organizations from Uganda and South Africa for investment and trade opportunities. This will improve bilateral trade between the two countries and mobilize private sector investments. Some of the delegates from South Africa appreciated Uganda for taking investment as a priority.
Important to have a better understanding between our entrepreneurs on the plant and animal health regime that exists on both countries.
In a portable solution, you're talking about agriculture, exporting it, right? So, I mean, it's like currently there is a need, and I know, like the minister said, there is huge exports going out.
We have the youngest dividend of future workforce on the continent, and the conversations we should be having is how are we upskilling them? How are we preparing them to leverage technology for a better future?
Ugandan business people are ready to explore South Africa's market with a new product C.
I make more wines from other fruits other than grapes, and especially the fruits which they don't have. I want to find the market for our farmers here in Uganda. To connect them, they take our pineapples. You know, South Africa have problem with pineapples, and they make wine out of pineapples.
Uganda-South Africa Business Summit is mainly going to create more of African intertrade, which we all want, basically, African intertrade between the African countries. That's the only way we are going to promote each other and maybe reduce the trade imbalances between the biggest economies and the smaller economies or the middle economies.
Philip Kakuru, the head of Ugandans working in South Africa, says the conference will propel the export volume of Ugandan goods.
South African business that were interested in Ugandan products to come and commit. So we are here to conclude the engagements that were done in February.
Robert Katamba, Jamilu Sekaja, UBC News.
Sports news now, and the best athletes of the month of August have been rewarded at the 40Bet Real Stars Monthly Awards. The event was hosted at Lazio Restaurant in Kololo.
40Bet Real Star Awards have rewarded 6 athletes from various fields for excellence in the sports sector.
Ludo has 3 nominees. One is Brian Balinya.
World Marathon Champion Victor Kiplangat edged all in athletics. Waswasali was the best boxer, and Shadia Nasanga, for her exploits at the Netball World Cup, was unmatched.
With this award this time, I think it's a blessing and it's a pleasure to me. First of all, I would like to thank the sponsors, and I would like to thank the netball fraternity. We have done a lot, we have passed through a lot.
It's my pleasure. I want to thank the entire management and the Tida United still representing. Thank you. God bless you.
It's not an easy job, but it's nice.
Now, the chairman, Uganda Young Football Association, Robert Chiwanuka, has appealed to government and the private sector to invest in the sports industry as a means of job creation for youth. He was closing the inaugural UYFA Under-15 National Championship at Luwero Playgrounds in Luwero Town Council.
Before Uganda can reap benefits from sports, there must be deliberate efforts to invest in sport gears and equipment. The chairman Uganda Young Football Association, Robert Chiwanuka, appeals to government and parliament to ensure reduced or zero taxation on all sports equipment. Katikamu North Member of Parliament Dennis Sekabira asked government to create an independent sports ministry with a focus to developing all types of sports in Uganda. In the boys championship, Kampala Galaxy, which beat Luwero-based Delator with 1-0-0, while Wakiso-based Israel Soccer Academy carried the girls championship by beating Samba Young Stars Academy by 2-0. Meanwhile, Bulemezi FC has made it to the quarter-finals of the Buganda Masaza football tournament following a shaky start to the competition, in which Bulemezi FC had to play 3 consecutive home matches to an empty stadium as a result of a ban from the organizers over indiscipline in the previous year's competition. Bulemezi FC chairman Sam Buchanan credits the 2-1 win against Singo FC to teamwork. Bulemezi emerged second in Bulange group after posting 15 points, and Singo FC led the group with 19 points. Other teams in Bulange group were Buvuma, Busuju, Butambala, and Bugerere.
And we finally come to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for having kept us company. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijananguma, wishing you a blessed night. But I'll leave you with Benon to give us the weather forecast for tomorrow.
And welcome to the weather forecast from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. I am Kalima Benon. Looking at the satellite image of Africa, we see that there is a diffusion of the rain belt coupled with the local effect of lakes and mountains that are causing us this kind of weather. In the morning, we forecast to wake up with rainfall in areas around Mukono, areas around Kampala, areas around Nakasongola and Nakasikanduela forecasted to wake up with sunny intervals. In the western, we forecast the entire stretch to wake up with sunny intervals, while in the eastern, we forecast areas around Jinja, Tororo, and Amuria to wake up with isolated showers. In the northern, we forecast areas around Arua, Gulu, Kitgum to wake up with sunny intervals, while areas around Kitgum and Kotido will wake up to isolated thunder showers. In the afternoon, we see a development of thunder showers in the central, that is areas around Nakasongola, Masaka, Kampala, while temperatures will range from 28 degrees Celsius in the capital Kampala to 29 degrees